In this lesson, we're going to talk about expressing periods of time or time frames. For example, I've been waiting for an hour. Now, one of the most common ways to express this would be to say exactly that, so we're following the English. And you could say, he estado esperando, so I've been waiting. And then either durante una hora or por una hora. Both ways are correct there. The difference between using durante and por is that durante sounds a little bit more formal, whereas por is more common, more kind of down to earth if you like. For the rest of this lesson, we'll continue using por, but just be aware that durante is also possible and you may also hear it. Try one for yourself now. How would you say, I've been living here for 2 years? He estado viviendo aquí por 2 años. So you can see that we are following the English pretty much exactly word for word. I have been living, so he estado viviendo, and then here for 2 years, aquí por 2 años. We could also have something like, I haven't been waiting very long. How would you say that? No he estado esperando mucho tiempo. Here you could also say por mucho tiempo if you wanted to. I haven't been living here for very long. No he estado viviendo aquí por mucho tiempo. If we want to include pronouns into this, we would have 2 choices regarding the placement. So, for example, I've been using it for an hour. So here we have our pronoun of it. Now, you could either say, he estado usándolo por una hora. So here we are tagging on the pronoun to the end of the verb. So, he estado usándolo por una hora. Or you could put the pronoun at the beginning here. So, lo he estado usando por una hora. Both placements are perfectly fine. However, just for simplicity, we'll continue using this first method here where we are tagging on the pronoun to the end of the verb. Let's try it with this one. I've been calling you for an hour. He estado llamándote por una hora. Another option, which you'll certainly come across when it comes to expressing time frames, is called the hace formula. Now, what happens here is that in English we will say, and it sounds quite natural, I've been waiting for an hour. However, in Spanish, you could also say, it makes an hour that I wait here. So, it makes would be hace, and then you say whatever time frame it is, so una hora, and then the word that would be que. So, hace una hora que espero aquí. Here we have it written on the slide. So it makes an hour that I wait here, meaning I've been waiting here for an hour. So hace una hora que espero aquí. This is known as the hace formula, where you have hace, then whatever period of time it is, followed by the word que. Let's try with this one. So we have, I've been living here for 2 years. But again, converting that, in Spanish, they could also say, it makes 2 years that I live here. How would you say that? Hace 2 años que vivo aquí. One more example. We could have, I haven't been waiting very long, or for very long. Now, converting that into the hace formula, it would literally read, it doesn't make much time that I wait here. How would you say it? No hace mucho tiempo que espero aquí. So here you have possibly the 2 most common ways of expressing time frames in Spanish. One is where we are following the Spanish or the English in a very literal way. The other one is using the hace formula. So for the same phrase, I've been living here for 2 years, we can literally say, I have been living here. He estado viviendo aquí than either por or durante 2 años. However, you will also hear native speakers frequently use the hace formula, and as you can see, it's shorter. So it makes 2 years that I live here. Hace 2 años que vivo aquí. Next up, I'd like to talk about the word ago. So for example, I saw her 2 days ago. Now this word ago will be hace. It has nothing to do with the hace formula, but we will be using hace in replace of this word ago. So I saw her 2 days ago would be la vi hace 2 días. So here the word ago in English is being replaced with hace in Spanish. So la vi hace 2 días, 2 days ago. Let's try it with this example. It happened 1 week ago. Pasó hace una semana. Notice that we have hace followed by whatever period of time it is. So that's the formula to hold on to. Let's try it again with this one. They arrived 1 hour ago. Llegaron hace una hora. So whenever you have 1 hour ago, 1 week ago, a year ago, this is what you will do. You will first of all say hace, followed by whatever period of time it is. Now we can also ask questions with ago. For example, how long ago did they arrive? This in Spanish would be, ¿Cuánto tiempo hace que llegaron? So here we have how long ago. ¿Cuánto tiempo hace that they arrived que llegaron? Try this example on your own now. How long ago did you work there? ¿Cuánto tiempo hace que trabajaste allí? Here, once again, we have how long ago. ¿Cuánto tiempo hace? Now, did you work there? ¿Qué trabajaste allí? In fact, if we simply wanted to say that and nothing more, how long ago, then you could say either ¿Cuánto tiempo hace? Or ¿Hace cuánto tiempo? Either placement is correct, but again, you can see that strong connection between the word ago in English and the word hace in Spanish. The word for, we know from previous lessons that we will use por with time frames. However, I again remind you that you can also use durante. I just feel that por sounds a little bit more natural. So let's try to use it in some examples. I studied for 3 hours. Estudié por 3 horas. She hasn't eaten for 2 days, or you could also say she hasn't eaten in 2 days. So either way, but you will continue using por in Spanish. No ha comido por 2 días. I haven't worked here for a year or in a year. No he trabajado aquí por un año. Let's take a look at the word since now. For example, it's been a long time since I saw them. Now, here you might be tempted to say ha sido. Okay, so it's been literally. However, in Spanish, with these types of phrases, it's much more natural to say it has passed a lot of time since I saw them. So this would be ha pasado mucho tiempo, and then we have the word for since, desde que los vi. So let's go back to this one. It's been a long time since I saw them. How would you say it? Ha pasado mucho tiempo desde que los vi. It's been a long time since I did it. Ha pasado mucho tiempo desde que lo hice. It's been a long time since I spoke with him. Ha pasado mucho tiempo desde que hablé con él. Let's move into some questions now. How would you ask, how long have you been working here? ¿Cuánto tiempo has estado trabajando aquí? We have a very literal translation here. So, how long, cuánto tiempo have you been working? Has estado trabajando, and then here, aquí. Of course, we could also use the hace formula with this. So instead of saying, how long have you been working here? Spanish could also phrase it like this. It makes how long that you work here. How would you say that? ¿Hace cuánto tiempo que trabajas aquí? So here we have, it makes how much time. ¿Hace cuánto tiempo that you work here? Que trabajas aquí. Let's run a short drill now, and just for simplicity, we won't use the hace formula. So how would you say, I've been calling you for an hour? He estado llamándote por una hora. I did it a week ago. Lo hice hace una semana. How long have you been calling her? ¿Cuánto tiempo has estado llamándole? You haven't called me in a month. No me has llamado por en un mes. I found it 2 days ago. Lo encontré hace 2 días. How long have you been doing it? ¿Cuánto tiempo has estado haciéndolo? I've been waiting here for an hour. He estado esperando aquí por una hora. I haven't worked here for a month. No he trabajado aquí por un mes. How long ago did they work here? ¿Cuánto tiempo hace que trabajaron aquí? I've been doing it for 2 years. He estado haciéndolo por 2 años. It's been a long time since I worked here. Ha pasado mucho tiempo desde que trabajé aquí. I haven't used it for a year. No lo he usado por un año. It's been a long time since I spoke with her. Ha pasado mucho tiempo desde que hablé con ella. I sold it 3 days ago. Lo vendí hace 3 días. We've been using it every day. Hemos estado usándolo todos los días.